दिखाते तू और बाजा बजा दे तू, मैदान सजा दे तू, ये खेल दीवानों का।
Hello and welcome to PSL Reviews. My name is Ali Yunus, and what an exciting day of cricket we saw today, and what an amazing game of cricket we saw when Peshawar Zalmi met Lahore Qalandar today in the first match of the double header today. Lahore Qalandar again posted a low score, but they looked like defending it when they had Zalmi's from 12 for 4. But then again, Misbah-ul Haq and Daniel Sammy's partnership saw them home when they won it in the very second last ball of the match by 4 wickets. I have with me Syed Muhammad Abbas, the former UAE international, to talk about it and much more. Well, what about, I'll start off with Misbah-ul Haq's inning today. How good was he today?
He was brilliant. I mean, if you just watch out, I mean, I was discussing off air with you earlier that if you just watch out Lahore Qalandar's innings, I mean, the batting did not click up for them. I mean, they were, I think so, around some 20, 25 or 30 runs short, if I'm not wrong. I mean, and unfortunately, the decision even by the captaincy in the field wasn't up to that mark. But again, I would say the experience counts up. I mean,
we'll talk about the match later, but I just want you to focus on Misbah-ul Haq at the moment. But at the age of 45, the oldest player to get a man of the match in T20 cricket. I mean, the rest of the players, the youngsters, the emerging batsmen must be looking upon to him.
And anyway, one more thing, if you just watch out Misbah-ul Haq, he never looks like that. He is 45 years of age. I mean, he's got that brilliant running between the wickets. I mean, he rotates the strike. And second, if you just watch out his innings, I mean, he knew where to get which bowler to target on, and he was successful in it. Still, cricketing germs have been there, and the age is not a factor.
Absolutely. And if we start off with the first match, it was sort of a must-win for Lahore Qalandars, and the changes they made today in this crucial match. Are you happy with that?
Literally, I mean, they had to make some changes. You know why? Because I mean, AB de Villiers wasn't the part of it. They brought in Ducati, I mean, to have a part of the AB de Villiers
at the cost of Anderson.
One thing, I mean, that I was going to discuss on. I was really surprised to have Anderson not in the team. I mean, because he's one of the key factors. I mean, as an all-rounder performer. Unfortunately, he hasn't been used as a bowler. He has been used more as a batsman for Lahore Qalandars. You had to have him in the middle order because you need some senior campaigner over here. Davy CH opening up with Fakhar Zaman was all right, because definitely you had to put him up over there. But still I was confused, you know why? Because you had Sohail Akhtar over there. He was opening up for Lahore Qalandars. He was performing superbly with Fakhar Zaman. You could have opted him up over there. Secondly, when I was discussing with you in the batting, I mean, because when you had David Villesa in the batting order, you know how destructive he can be. He showed in the match what Lahore Qalandars won, I mean, and what he's capable of. Even in the last over when he hit Hassan Ali, what he's capable, everyone knows that. You could have opted him up above that, the youngster who debuted for Lahore Qalandars. You could have opted him up above that, above Omer, because I mean, you needed someone over there to at least get a power hitting slot. This, seriously, I say that Lahore Qalandars was still 25-30 runs short. If they could have opted that total, it was really a tough target for them.
Right. And what do you make of their planning once they went out to bat, and Devicic opening with Fakhar Zaman? And it was an important inning for Fakhar Zaman, I would say. He should really have led from the front and scored some crucial runs today. It was important. It was an important match for Lahore Qalandars.
I felt something. I mean, was it the pressure on Fakhar Zaman not having AB de Villiers as a partner in the captaincy arena? I would say. I mean, Fakhar Zaman is the captain for it, but the experience counts. I mean, Fakhar Zaman hasn't been a captain for his domestic structure, not for many matches. I would say the experience of captaincy isn't there with Fakhar Zaman. I mean, I saw that confidence lack in Fakhar Zaman batting too, because his batting, like you rightly mentioned, it was a main point. I mean, because he had to score runs because the way Fakhar Zaman started on, I mean, when Davy CH and Fakhar Zaman came to bat on, I thought, I mean, that because Fakhar Zaman and Davy CH both would be an important key role for Lahore Qalandars, because they both are the main strikers who have to give a good start to the Lahore Qalandars. Unfortunately, Davy CH fell off early on, Fakhar Zaman not performing up, so the batting did not go well for the Lahore Qalandars.
Right. And once they scored 124, they must be down and out. And the way they came back in bowling, they started out with Shaheen Shah Afridi and Rahat Ali getting quick wickets. At that moment, they might have thought, yes, we can have this game.
Anyway, when you have played in the Abu Dhabi wicket, I've been there. I mean, it's not an easy target even to chase on 120 again. You know why? Because if you have got a strong bowling unit, I mean, who's got that tendency to mix up the variations in the fast bowling and who's got a good spin bowling department. The one thing was good about Peshawar Zalmi that they had worked on Lemon Chennai. I mean, they knew that he's got one of the best googles in the world. They knew how he is against, I mean, when he goes on, I mean, they need to attack him up, and they had the right choice, especially Misbah-ul-Haq. I mean, he had the right choice to go against him. Don't let him to settle down over here. Rest of fast bowling, Shaheen Shah Afridi was exceptional today. I mean, getting that 4 breakthroughs early on, 25 for 4, I mean, Peshawar Zalmi, and I never thought they would be back in the rhythm because the main wickets of Dawson and Pollard, they were the main strikers, I mean, who have been continuously performing for Peshawar Zalmi. Misbah-ul-Haq was given rest in many of the matches. He came back over here. Again, I would say the age does not count. The experience counts up. I mean, he performed superbly. They were still lacking. The bowling was brilliant. The mindset of a captain in the field, I mean, what I was discussing before with you, because when Shaheen Shah Afridi was batting on, even when Haris Rauf was bowling, Shaheen Shah, when he was bowling on, I don't know why was he in an attacking kind of a field. I mean, they could have gone through for ones or singles. I mean, for they could have eased up Peshawar Zalmi for singles because it wasn't a target which could have chased by the singles. I mean, you had to go for boundaries. I mean, the unfortunate the hit what Misbah-ul-Haq hit him over the long off area. I mean, the fielder was in the circle. I mean, if he could have been on the circle on the boundary line, it could have been a catch. It could have been a different scenario. Secondly, the pressure, Misbah-ul-Haq's run out, which was missed out by the debutant. So the pressure, I mean, especially on Fakhar Zaman, led the fault of the game.
Right. With that, we have online Sayyid Mohammad Ghaffar, the senior sports journalist. Hello, Ghaffar, can you hear us?
Hello, sir.
How are you today? Must be very happy again. Peshawar Zalmi winning another nail biter, another thriller.
Yes, I think one of the matches because the way Lahore Qalandars fought back in the second inning after they just scored 124, I think that was a great effort by them. But again, it's proved that old is gold, I guess, because the way Misbah-ul-Haq, the 44-year-old Misbah-ul-Haq, begin this Darren Sammy, and then both of them first allow Peshawar Zalmi to just reconciliate from the position they were in 24-5, I guess. I think it's one of the best PSL matches in this regard, that a batting team from a very, very heavy slump of 24-5 to recover and chase down the target. And in context of the PSL, I think, Ali, that was a big game for both teams because Peshawar Zalmi's today's win ensured them the place in the playoffs. So I think this is the biggest win for the Peshawar Zalmi of the season because if they hadn't lost today, that will be a very tricky situation for the remaining team amongst Peshawar Zalmi as well. But I think that's a great effort by two senior ones.
Yeah, just one question that I really want to ask. What were you thinking when you included Misbah-ul-Haq? I mean, there was any specific plan that Misbah is going to play today because it was a big match?
See, as far as I know, when the draft was happened, that when Misbah-ul-Haq was not part of the Islamabad United. So obviously, like other options, we have Misbah-ul-Haq in the draft as well. And I think the biggest thing which Misbah-ul-Haq is brought for any team, like Peshawar Zalmi, now he's with Peshawar Zalmi, that his experience. If you notice him, especially on the social media of Pakistan Super League, before every toss, Misbah-ul-Haq joined Darren Sammy to read the pitch. And then I think this is the best thing which Misbah-ul-Haq can bring you. He is a master of reading the UAE pitches, and which you see the changes Peshawar Zalmi made in the previous game. Most of the changes were spot on. Like today, they include Tyron Mills. They actually add more pace in their lineup today, and it proves lethal because fast bowlers did able to grab a help from today's pace. So I think this is the best thing Misbah-ul-Haq bring, and obviously the way he played today, and you say that a champion player always rise to the occasion. Everybody knows that this game is crucial for the playoff qualification. And obviously, Peshawar Zalmi lost the yesterday game was quite badly, but I think this is a special effort from Darren Sammy and Misbah-ul-Haq which ensures that we place in the playoffs.
Must have been a very difficult decision to leave out Ibtisam and play another seamer when you already had 3 seamers. Misbah must have thought about it.
Exactly, because if you know that Misbah like experience and obviously Darren Sammy himself a very good leader, only captain to lead his side West Indies to a glory for the World T20 twice. So I think this is the best ever combo, I guess, especially if you are just adding Yunus Khan to this decision. And look at the team effort. I think you must have go through the footages which released after the match when at base bowlers being saluted by the entire Peshawar Zalmi squad along Darren Sammy, along Yunus Khan, and Yunus Khan was actually leading the squad when they are floating Misbah after he finished the match. So I think the best thing we talked already about in your program 2 to 3 times already, that the spirit and the unity of the Zalmi squad is quite visible. They look like a very chill team and a very united team, and this is the best thing I think which is actually blossoming them to the glory right now, and they are sitting pretty well at the top.
Absolutely. Last time I remember when you guys won a crucial game, it was a good huge dinner from Javed Afridi, and now that you have qualified, you're the second team to qualify, where are you going tonight?
It remains a surprise, so I will tell you tomorrow, inshallah.
Thank you so much for being on the call, Abdul Ghaffar. Yes, as you mentioned, Misbah-ul-Haq, he's such an important and key, not just as a player, but as a senior ambassador of the team. Just being there with the side, it must be a very boostful thing for the youngsters.
See, it's just not as an international cricketer, as the experience of a national cricketer, I mean, who has represented Pakistan as a captain, as a player. It's about even, I would say, as a mentor, I mean, because he's in the team as a mentor. You have got Yunus Khan in the dugout, but Misbah-ul-Haq is the main key role again over here, because both of them are a strong key factor for any team, I mean, because they guide the youngsters, they guide even the national players of other teams, I mean, who are represented internationally, I mean, even they ask a lot of things in the batting, I mean, how they describe on. I was reading somewhere on Facebook, I mean, just it was just a joke, I'm written over there, where they were 25 for 4 down, and Misbah-ul-Haq was saying that with Adat hai meri, when you remember when Pakistan, he's used to that kind of condition, and he knew how to get out of that. I mean, and believe me, when Darren Sammy came to bat with him, I was confused about Darren Sammy's performance, because he isn't 100% fit again. I would say that same problem, I mean, that the hamstring issue is there with him, because when he was running between the wickets, I saw that issue carried up with Darren Sammy. I hope so that's okay with him. I mean, he needs to carry up for the Peshawar Zalmi, but he really needs to look after him, I mean, because if he does not, it can be threatening life injury for him.
Right. If you look at myself, I was pretty surprised that they left out the leg spinner Ibtisam and played another seamer when there was something in the wicket for the leg spinner especially. I'm very surprised early on, but that proved right for them.
I mean, we always have that habit to misread the pitch again, I would say. I mean, and yes, I was surprised. I mean, leaving Ibtisam up over here, because spinners have dominated. I mean, if you just watch out the game which is being played right now, Quetta versus Islamabad, I mean, Nawaz has dominated in that innings. I mean, he's gone for runs, but even he has taken wickets.
Peshawar Zalmi picking up
Peshawar Zalmi, I mean, taking a wicket. So yes, the spinners do dominate. I mean, they do have a strong point, but unfortunately, I don't know, I mean, they more opted up with the seam up deliveries, but that worked for them.
Right.
Again, I would say the performance of Peshawar Zalmi wasn't up to that mark, what they're known for. It was the mistake of Lahore Qalandars. I mean, they did not perform for Lahore Qalandars. I mean, especially the batting did not click up. Yes, the bowling did click. If they could have posted up a good total of 140, 145, that could have been one of the strongest total against Peshawar, the way Lahore Qalandars jumped up back in the tournament.
Right. Let's have a look at the top performers of the first match. Haris Sohail, he's such a gentle player, and he plays with the line, in the line, and all cricketing strokes he plays.
Unfortunately, he has been through many injuries, I mean, because he has been out of the team for such a long period of time, but he's one of the players to watch on.
Absolutely.
Especially having the one-down position in any team, because he plays as a one-down batsman for Pakistan or two-down batsman. That's one of the backbones of any team, and he has been consistently performing in the white ball cricket.
Yes, and today again he scored 43, and David Wiese it was a little late for him to score those 26 crucial runs of 16 balls, hitting 2 fours and 2 sixes. What do you make?
Again, I told you, I mean, because he was sent way too down the order. I mean, he had to step up. I mean, because as a senior campaigner after AB de Villiers, you had to take a risk about him because he's kind of a batsman who goes after the bowlers and especially loves the fast bowlers. I mean, so you had to take a risk over here, sending him up the order, so that could have at least changed some figures in the total.
Yes, and when Anderson was not there, he should have taken that spot of Anderson.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, see, Anderson plays as an all-rounder for Lahore Qalandars, but again, I told you, he has been used as much as a batsman.
And yes, there's another change that proved vital for Peshawar Zalmi, bringing in Tyrone Mills. He bowled 4 overs, 29 runs, and 3 wickets up the order. He basically made the game for Peshawar Zalmi.
Anyway, on his day, I mean, it's not easy to play Tyrone Mills. I mean, you know, because he's got that slower one and the faster one. I mean, the fast is really, really quick.
Right.
So it's not an easy job to get him for runs.
Right, Sameem Goel, he or Ibtisam could have played either of them, but they went with Sameem Goel, which proved another right decision for Sammy. He bowled 4 overs, 17 runs for 2 wickets.
One thing is good, I mean, you have got the youngsters pace battery coming up for Pakistan, and even he's a youngster performing superbly for Peshawar Zalmi.
Absolutely, that Misbah ul Haq, I mean, we don't have much to discuss. I mean, he's a legend. He just nothing better than Darren Sammy. Another 46 crucial runs of just 36 balls, 4 fours and 1 6. It's not about the runs, it's the timings of the run when he scores. Every time he comes to the crease, they're in trouble, and he definitely brings them out of that trouble.
They both are the main ones, I mean, who led the Peshawar Zalmi to win on. But again, I would say, unfortunately, the not having this mindset of how to gather the fielders, I mean, where to place them up, I mean, that costed Lahore Qalandars to lose on. Because even when you just watch out, when Darren Sammy and Misbah ul Haq were playing on, they played many shots, uppish shots, where it could have been a catch out, but unfortunately, I don't know what was in the Lahore Qalandars dugout. I mean, the mindset over there, the captain, I mean, the strategic time could have been taken out, the captain, the coach could have spoken to the players. I mean, you need to lift up, I mean, you need to get this one breakthrough, you could be back in the match. But I didn't see that thing happening up. But still, they have got a chance because the Islamabad match right now going up. I mean, they're in a trouble over here. Islamabad. Luke Ronk is still playing on 69. He's going strong. If they get him early out over here, it's going to be do and die situation for Lahore, Karachi, and Islamabad.
Right, and once they scored 124 and got those crucial wickets, where do you think Lahore Qalandars missed the chance, sir? Yes, sorry, we had this another, we lost Misbah's performance. It was 59 runs of 55 balls, 4 fours and 2 sixes at the age of 45 against all these youngsters. When we're talking about these emerging players and emerging young batsmen, young fit players, his 45-year-old getting a man of the match.
Well, he was batting when, if you remember, when Shaheen Shah Afridi came to ball against him and he applauded him, I mean, with the ball. I mean, Shaheen Shah wasn't letting this batsman to settle down. I mean, I'm speaking about
Have a look at the performance of Shaheen Shah Afridi. I mean, he's really set the light of the match, light in the match. Bowls 4 quick overs early on for only 17 runs and 3 crucial quick wickets.
Anyway, he has been performing, but again, I would say, I mean, you have got the main tournaments coming up. You need to look after him because
we'll talk about him after we've spoken about Rahat Ali. He was brilliant with the new ball. I think didn't give any room to the batsman for his 4 overs, 12 runs and 1 wicket.
And getting the wicket of Kamran, the main wicket, I would say, because unfortunately Kamran Bhai hasn't been in his colours in this Pakistan Super League, but you know, he's one of the best players in the Pakistan Super League. He has been scoring consistently runs in the domestic structure. He scored double 102 in the white ball cricket, I mean, the domestic structure, and many of them started even saying that he's got the doorway to the Pakistan team back. I still figure that out. He is one of the batsmen who can represent Pakistan in a shorter format. Unfortunately, he hasn't been in his colours in this Pakistan Super League, but still, when he goes on, you know how brutal he can be.
Absolutely, he's so vital and he's so crucial in these middle orders that he can have that nudges and singles and twos, and when at will, he can hit big sixes also.
See, it's not important to especially go for boundaries in every ball. I mean, everyone says, even you have been a batsman, I mean, everyone says that a good batsman is one who goes for boundary and the next ball he just rotates the strike.
Right.
So that's the plus point what Kamran Akmal has on. I mean, when going after the boundary, he even rotates the strike regularly, because what I haven't seen in a batsman like Asif. I mean, Asif is not a good strike rotator. He loves to go for boundaries. I think blocks or heads, and he succeeds in it. But you need to be a good strike rotator in the middle order, because that keeps the momentum pressure on the other team.
Right. And Peshawar's Army, of course, crushing the hopes of Lahore Qalandars in a bit, because they were expecting to win it from there. Let's talk about the second match that has been played. That is a crucial match for Islamabad United, chasing 180 runs. Are you happy with the changes they made? They played three spinners when it's a seamer-friendly wicket.
The way Quetta Gladiators have posted on a total, it's not an easy job for them to win on sea. I mean, 64 runs from 22 balls, and it's really got to grind you up. I mean, but the one point is good that they have got Luke Ronchi still batting up. I mean, so he's out.
He's out.
I mean, Luke Ronchi is out. So
they depend too much on Luke Ronchi. Once he gets out, it's over for Islamabad United.
I mean, Islamabad United again. I mean, they still, I say, they're a good gelled up unit. You know why? Because I mean, they don't much rely on the overseas campaigners. I mean, the middle order, Asif, Fahim Ashraf, they do perform for them. Shadab Khan too. But unfortunately, I mean, even Asif did not click up today. Fahim Ashraf wasn't in his good colours again. He did not perform for them. So now Shadab Khan standing up over there. But it's an almost a gone match from them, because it's not an easy job to get 63 from 25 or 22 balls. I mean, you need to grind yourself a lot.
Yeah, and luckily for Quetta Gladiators, I mean, it was just a perfect rehearsal that Shane Watson not scoring runs, Quetta Gladiators batting first. I mean, all the weaknesses they have tried in this match. What do you think?
You see, one thing is good that Quetta Gladiators love to chase on. I mean, today they opted to bat first time, and so it's that they're testing themselves, that are we able to give a good piling up total, and they have done that brilliantly over here. 188, I think so. The Quetta Gladiators posted up a total, and they were superb in the batting. I mean, they did not rely more on Shane Watson, that if he performs, then we're going to be scoring runs up down the order. But if you just watch out, Rusuf came on. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to deliver up. Then he got the debutant today, I mean, Moin Khan son, I mean, Azam Khan, he wasn't able to pick up runs over here. Good sign to see Ahmed Shahzad back in the form, I mean, with a decent innings, I mean. Then he got Umar Akmal, I mean, he hit one towering sixes. He was looking good in the form over here. So they are not relying much on the overseas campaigners. They are much relying on the middle order. They have got a solid middle order. The local cricketers were first. I mean, they are performing with the national cricketers.
Yeah, it must be very confident for Ahmed Shahzad. Must be very confident when he will be replacing Shane Watson up.
There's one more wicket gone on.
Yeah, but let's see the live pitches going on. Bravo. Just making a mess out of the wicket. Yes, I was talking about Ahmed Shahzad. It must be a very boosting thing for Quetta Gladiators, him scoring back-to-back 50s just at the right time.
I mean, definitely you wanted something from Ahmed Shahzad, because as a main he's not a youngster now. He's a senior batsman for Quetta. Even if he comes back for the Pakistan team, he's going to be a senior campaigner. He has played a lot of matches for Pakistan. And one thing is wrong. Many of them say that you debut for Pakistan, you play 5 matches and you're a youngster. No, you're representing Pakistan. Absolutely. And it's not an easy job. You come from so many hurdles, I mean, to represent Pakistan. You're almost prepared as a senior campaigner. Ahmed Shahzad, when he goes on, everyone loves to watch him. Again, I would say, like we were discussing yesterday, the problem what he had, I mean, not scoring runs, I mean, was it that the mindset, was it that the psychological effect, I mean, that wasting many deliveries, I mean, what Ahmed Shahzad was known for, he wasn't the same over here. But in this Pakistan Super League, he has got the 2 to 3 chances, and he has proved himself that I've got still the germs of what I am. And it's a good sign, I would say, that you know what his natural game is. He needs to play that. If you spoil him up, he's going to be a bad boy.
Absolutely, and the credit must be given to Sarfaraz for handling both the bad boys of Pakistan cricket and Ahmed Shahzad and Umar Akmal.
The captain, I mean, definitely captain has a lot of work to do on over here, because I mean, he has to even look after the team, even he has to look after the bad boys too. And he has been doing a superb job.
That's a role of the management, you know.
Nadeem especially, I would say, I mean, the management is doing a good job over here. Then you got the dugout, the manager, then you got Vivid Richards. I mean, he's doing a brilliant job. He's talking to the cricketers. I mean, you just watch his enthusiasm. I mean, when you take a wicket, when you go for runs, I mean, the way he jumps on, hip hops over here and all that. He's more gelled up with the team. Definitely, he would be telling this both batsmen how to behave on, and it has really, believe me, these 2 batsmen being a part of the Quetta Gladiators, and under Vivid Richards, they have really improved themselves.
And yes, and this could be the very good, very vital chance for both of them to have to make it make a comeback to Pakistan team, performing under Sarfaraz and World Cup and a couple of series coming up.
I personally feel so. Umar Akmal has got a green slot to be back in the team over here. You know why? Because many of them argue with me, I mean, especially the Islamabadians, I mean, they might argue with me about Asif Ali, that why can't Asif Ali be in the power of Islamabad? Yeah. But you know what? Asif Ali has been a good power hitting pack for Pakistan, but not frequently. In and out. He has been scoring runs. You need someone at the number 6 position who can go for runs, who can build up an innings. He's one kind of a batsman who goes for big strikes. He's not that kind of a batsman who can build up an innings, who can even rotate the strike on every momentum when you need on. But Umar Akmal has, unfortunately, the behavior factor, I hope so, it does not come anymore in his life, because he's got a clean seat, I hope so, in the Pakistan team now. And you really need him for the Pakistan team, because if you remember, I was listening to Graham Smith and he had that statement, where is Umar Akmal going before the Pakistan Super League? If you want to win the World Cup, you need to have an Umar Akmal kind of a batsman in the middle order. So it's going to be a really tough task for the selection committee, whom to choose on, because they have got many youngsters coming up, especially the fast bowlers, whom to carry up for the World Cup slot. I know many of them, even I say that it's really too early for the youngsters to carry them for the World Cup slot, but it's going to be an eye-opener for one of them, and let's see who it will be.
Right, and having somebody like Umar Akmal at number 5 or 6, I mean, we're pretty used to seeing 60 for 4 and 60 for 5. I mean, somebody like Asif Ali who hits too many shots, and compared to Umar Akmal who can always play under pressure too. It's going to be a difficult choice for the selectors.
Obviously, I mean, I told you, I mean, because looking at the stats of Asif Ali, he has been scoring runs, but not consistently. Scoring 30 runs, 20 runs isn't bad, because he's that kind of a batsman who scores a quick fire of 35 or hardly 40 runs, I mean, but he needs to convert that into 50s and 60s and 100s. Umar Akmal is a different kind of a batsman. I mean, he's got that tendency, he's got that germs to build up an innings. I mean, he knows how to basically get into the situation what's going on. So Umar Akmal is a slot over here. It's upon to the selectors whom they choose on.
Right, as we see the live scenes, another wicket down, and that Caribbean moves from Dwayne Bravo. I mean, he brings so much color to the ground. And even if you saw that video in the bus, I mean, he lifts the spirits up of the team, Dwayne Bravo.
You actually need someone. I mean, is it again one more wicket?
Another wicket. It's Sohail really damaging in the end with these couple of wickets. It's almost over for Islamabad United. I mean, at this point of time,
I was actually earlier speaking on that day to Sohail when I said on my WhatsApp, and I said, good luck to see you. I mean, I hope to see you back in the Pakistan team. And he had a smiley saying that hope so. So I hope so. He's back in, because he's one of the guys who's a brilliant bowler in the shorter format, not for the Test cricket, for a shorter format. He's one of the good guys, I mean, because if you just remember the first World Cup, the T20 World Cup, what we lost against in South Africa, what we lost against India, the finals, I mean, the 2 towering sixes hit by Sohail, and we totally changed on the game momentum. And he's one kind of an all-rounder who can bat even down the order, and you really need him back in the team. But again, I would say you have got good fast bowlers coming up for the Pakistan team, good all-rounders coming up for the Pakistan team, that everyone now understands that we need to fight for our place in the Pakistan team. It's not an easy job, or not a fan following that will get us into the Pakistan team. You really need to be a limelight in the Pakistan Super League or in the crowd.
Absolutely, it's just so amazing to see the competition in fast bowlers. I wish I could see the half of it in the batsmen also. I mean, there are not many that we can look up to from this PSL. No emerging batsmen coming up.
That's unfortunate again, I would say, I mean, because I told you on that day when you were sitting with me when Shoaib Malik was talking, I mean, in the presentation, he said that there are a lot of fast bowlers coming up, the talent is coming up in the Pakistan Super League, but I hope so the batsmen too come up for the Pakistan Super League. Yes, they have opted many youngsters in the Pakistan Super League, but they haven't been as effective what they wanted, I mean. So I hope so, I mean, they find out a good batting unit, because after Saeed Anwar and Amir Bhai, you have never got a good batting up unit, I mean, in the opening department. Yes, you had one Salman, but unfortunately whatever the incident happened back in 2010, or he could have been one of the best openers. After that, Imran Nazir, many of them say that. Unfortunately, again, even one more thing I will say, it's not about the players, I mean, it's about even the habit of the Pakistan cricket. I mean, you know what, getting a person to play just one match or two matches, drop him off, get him back after 6 months, the age of that guy, or the day when, or I would say when he's on his peak,
He's scoring runs
frequently, that finishes off and you get him back in the team. That's not the way. Remember once, I mean, there was a debate about Raifatullah, the guy who plays for Peshawar, for Fata. I mean, why isn't he being selected in the Pakistan team? He has been consistently scoring runs. But looking at his age factor right now, when you opted him up for the Pakistan team, he wasn't that Raifatullah what he was known back. I mean, I've never played against him, but I've heard about him that he was a brilliant batsman in the age of 20s and 25 or some 30s. He was a brilliant one to watch on. But you're getting him up at the age of 40, what can a bowler do? Said Azmal bhai, it was the same thing by him. No one noticed him. I think so when he was around 35 years of age or 33 years of age, he debuted for Pakistan.
And that too because of Misbah, because they used to play for the same
So I mean, that's the thing. I mean, you need to look after the bowlers. I mean, you need to look after the youngsters whom you see they're the future of Pakistan. You have got many fast bowlers coming up. It depends upon the Pakistan Cricket Board, National Cricket Board Academy, the NC Academy especially, the management sitting up over there, the operations director Mudassar Pai sitting up over there. It's not the job of them. Get the fast bowlers, get the spinners into the NCA, groom them up for the Pakistan team. If no, I don't know then what's going to be happening.
And talking about the batsmen, I mean, there is another example we have right now, that's Abid Ali's example. He's been scoring for a couple of seasons, and here we are, no PSL franchise picking him up. And then if we have picked up somebody like Rizwan Hussain, a youngster batsman, and they're not playing him at his number, I mean, it must be so disheartening for the batsman, or that here we are struggling to find a batsman, and on the other hand, we have performers who are not being picked up the franchise even.
Abid Ali, I mean, he is one of the guys, I mean, who has been consistently scoring runs for Islamabad region, I mean, and he's a highlight for the Pakistan. He has to do it for Pakistan. Unfortunately, never got a game for the Pakistan national side. I mean, that's the thing I'm saying on that. You really need to
talk about this, and let's see the live pictures we are on. Zafar Gohar, I mean, just making a bit of the match. Maybe a couple of hits would do a good to the run rate, because it's going to come down to run rate between them and Lahore Qalandars. That's what I see.
Hassan has gone for runs today. I mean, picked up 2 crucial wickets, but has gone for 32 runs. I mean, but I mean, again, I would say, when you go for runs, that's the point where you learn how to bowl. I mean, because you're under pressure, I mean, how to ease up your nerves. And definitely he's a youngster. I mean, he's learning up over here. So the way Islamabad United, but still they had the right face how to target him up, and they have showed that today, because he's one of the furious fast bowler coming up for Pakistan, and they had done a good job against him.
Absolutely. I mean, what's the point of having so much pace that you have to control it, you know? I mean, that's what I've seen all my life, that if you have pace, you don't control it. You let the fast bowler bowl fast as much as he could. I mean, you being the fast bowler.
See, if you remember, Sri Lanka has Chamila, the right arm fast bowler. What problem he has? He's got a good pace. I mean, the problem what he has is not being consistent for the Sri Lanka team. It's because he's leaking more runs, because there's no control in the fast bowling lineup. I mean, he just comes, bowls with a good pace, that's it. Wahab Bhai was the same thing. I mean, when he not now, Wahab Bhai is a totally different fast bowler. Even you might have played against him, you know him. When he was in the Pakistan team, what problem he had was that he was trying to get more pressure on his body, trying to bowl more, as much as fast ball deliveries he could, not getting that variations what a fast bowler needs nowadays, not getting the proper line length. I mean, he was just trying to bowl more fast bowling deliveries. So that can't be with a fast bowler. You need to have the variations, and with this kind of wickets, it depends upon the wicket to wicket, I mean, or it depends upon the situation too, that how a bowler can do on, I mean, whether he needs to bowl fast or what he needs to on. Because 1992 World Cup, I was listening to Imran Bhai, and Imran Bhai said once that, Wasim Bhai and Zaman Bhai, when everyone's sitting up, and they said that Imran Bhai came to Wasim and said जितना तेज बॉल कर सकते हो आज करो. So that was something else, I mean, that was need of time.
Cricket and
that was need of time right now. In the T20 cricket, you can't go for pace battery. You need to have the variation in between. Like, because there have been so many fast bowlers, but unfortunately, when you don't have a variation in between, you definitely will go for leaking runs.
And with variation, we have Dane Bravo on the screen, who has as many variations as you can talk about in T20 cricket. I mean, he's so amazing with the ball that he can bowl 6 different deliveries, I believe, in T20 cricket.
Yes, I mean, the slow ones, the knuckle delivery he has got, then especially, I mean,
and he has so much control over
he's got so much control over it, and especially the flight kind of full toss, I would say, what he has
on the batsman.
That dips on the batsman, and batsman get confused to play on. He's got, and even he boosts up the batting too, I mean, and that's bowled up.
Yeah, that's Rizwan Hussain I was talking about, but then again, he's an opener, but I guess here batting at number 6 or 7 would do no good to his confidence.
That's the thing I'm saying on. See, when the match is almost out of the range of the Islamabad United, you're sending him to bat on. I mean, as an opener, his confidence shatters down over here. You could have opted him as an opener still.
Or wouldn't have played somebody else who could play at number 6 or 7.
That's the thing I'm saying on. I mean, but unfortunately, I don't know what's the dugout sitting up over there, the management sitting up over there. They need to really think about this. I mean, it's not that you carry a youngster to play a match, and if he's an opener, I don't know whether it's intentionally or what it is, and you send him at number 6 or 7 position where he does not get suited to that condition. So you really need to think about this. I mean, he could have been opted as an opener, or like you rightly mentioned on, or you could have opted someone else, I mean, because on that position.
Right, and probably we know the result of Islamabad and Quetta match now. Lahore Qalandar must be very happy because they got this a little chance to go ahead now after the defeat of Islamabad United.
We are happy. I mean,
I would love to see Lahore Qalandar qualify.
I would love to see Lahore Qalandar because I belong to that near to Lahore. Yes, I mean, because if you just watch out all the 3 tables of Islamabad United, Karachi Kings and Lahore. Karachi and Lahore, they were both having a difference of minus 10 points. I mean, the minor point, I mean. But today's match, what Lahore Qalandar came to a very, I would say, it was a tough match. They came very close to the target, I mean. So definitely that would have boosted even the points table. I didn't see the points table today, what points table does on. But having Islamabad United being beaten up by 50, 40 runs plus, I mean, that really would cost the point table. So they might shift down the Karachi Kings. So it's still, the table is open for Lahore Qalandar, Karachi, and for Islamabad. It's believe me, many of them will argue with me, but still I feel that the Islamabad, it's going to be a tough battle between Lahore and Islamabad, not Karachi.
Yeah, it was not the case a couple of days before, but now it's certainly come down to that. Moin Khan, as you see, you can see.
You just have one match. I mean, Islamabad has just got one match before the playoffs. I mean, and this was a do and die still match, and the next match is even do and die match. So now they will be having an eye on Lahore Qalandar, what they do. Lahore Qalandar will be having an eye on Karachi Kings, what they do. So still the table is open up, and it's really going to be a tough one to watch on.
Absolutely, it's so good for PSL that every match going down to the situation till the end, we don't know which teams are going to qualify. I mean, these Peshawar Zalmi qualified today. And yes, we just had the breaking news is that Quetta Gladiators have beaten Islamabad United in a very crucial match for Islamabad United. These are the 2 performers, Umar Akmal and Ahmed Shahzad. You can see on the screen the team is happy, the dugout is happy, everyone. I'm not sure about this dugout, this faces tells it all. They must be very disappointed because they had it in them when Luke Ronchi was going so well. But somehow in the middle they lost it.
Yeah, I mean, again, I would say, I mean, the mid-order especially did not perform for them. I mean, if they could have, and the total was really tough to chase on. I mean, 181 isn't an easy job to chase on this kind of wicket. You just saw the first match, I mean, it was just 120, and it was a nail-biter match. Almost Lahore won that match, and Misbah Bhai and Sami rescued Peshawar Zalmi.
Absolutely.
So it was a brilliant total to handle up over here. What you need to do was that you had to maintain the run scoring, I mean the run rate. I mean, Luke Ronchi was doing a good job for them, but they never had anyone in the middle order who could maintain that run rate or could have accelerated 7 runs per over to 11 or 12 runs per over.
Absolutely, yes. We can see the live pictures. Quetta Gladiators beat Islamabad United by 43 runs, and that's a huge margin looking at the table at the moment, because it's going to come down to the run rate, and Islamabad United would not be happy with this huge defeat. 43 runs, Islamabad United coming down on run rate also now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, 43 runs. It's not it's a huge defeat again, I would say, because you're playing against. See, I mean, you're not playing against a team which is at the 5th position. You're playing against a team which is at the number one position now, because they have won this match. So definitely that results up in the points table too. So I don't know. I mean, whether the team sitting up back. I mean, if the producer could display up the points table, so we could just find that out. Because I mean, definitely, I think so. Karachi Kings and Lahore Qalandar have. I mean, it would be the Karachi Kings would have jumped up after Lahore Islamabad United.
Right, and from here the cricket goes to Karachi in couple of days' time. I mean, I'm excited. Hopefully you're excited too. Right, ladies and gentlemen, that is all we have for tonight. We'll see you in couple of days' time over here, same time. Take care till then.
कल जोश दिखाते तू और बाजा बजा दे तू, मैदान सजा दे तू, ये खेल दीवानों का। और बाजा बजा दे तू।